With the retirement of Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, the race for Congressional District 24 is certainly one that will garner a lot of attention. There are 7 Democrats in the race, and whoever wins the primary in August will almost certainly be elected to Congress, since this is the most Democratic district in the state. This week, I interview State Senator Shevrin Jones.
Listen, I have always been a believer that the government works best when it remembers who it's supposed to serve. And I've spent the last 14 years of my career for people who often feel unseen, for people who often feel unheard, and those who've been left behind. I mean, I've worked with many families who just want to try to keep a roof over their head. Teachers trying to educate their children without enough resources. That's what I've done while I've been in office. And I've been one of the people who have seen what it looks like when government works for people and not work against people. But I also realized that a lot of what we were fighting in Tallahassee didn't start it doesn't just start in Tallahassee. It starts in Washington, D.C. We see the dysfunction in what has happened in Washington, D.C. over the years. And not only is it dysfunction, it's not working on behalf of the individuals who can't pay their rent. It's not working on behalf of the individuals who can't purchase their food or even fill up their gas. Yes, affordability is the main issue that people are asking for. But we can't deal with any of those issues if we continue to fight in a dysfunctional Congress. So we have to put individuals in Congress who know what it means to work across the aisles, who know what it means, who's worked on policy to ensure that you bring better life to families. I know what that means. I've done it for 14 years in the legislature. I
Well, let
passed
me,
real
let me,
policy before
yeah,
to make that
let me,
happen.
Yeah, let me jump in here for a second and just sort of say I interviewed Oliver Gilbert last week, and one of the things he pointed out is that he thinks he's better suited, having served as a mayor and as a county commissioner, where he had direct involvement, helping constituents, helping people, actually accomplishing things. And while he didn't name you personally, he did suggest that there are politicians, some who serve in Tallahassee, who really don't have that hands-on approach that you do when you're a mayor or a county commissioner. How do you respond to that?
First, I want to start off by saying that I respect every person who's in this race. I think every person in this race have contributed to some type of capacity within the state, within this county, and also within this district. I want to start there. But the second thing I'll make it clear is that I am the only person in this race who has worked in a super majority chamber in both the House and the Senate and still delivered results. I am the only candidate in this race that brought forth legislation that people would not even believe could be filed or even heard in the legislature, and it now become the law of the land. Things like dignity for incarcerated women, ensuring women in our prison system have access to free feminine hygiene products. Things like dignity for incarcerated pregnant women, to ensure that women who are pregnant cannot be shackled or put in solitary confinement. These are the type of bills that people can see, people can feel, because it reaches their households. I'm the one who's sitting inside this position right now, who is qualified to go to Congress, not just to be a extra vote, but to be someone who knows what it means to put policy in place and work across the aisles to get it done.
You know, I think it was widely believed that if Frederica Wilson did in fact retire, that you would get in the race, that Oliver Gilbert would get in the race, and even some of the other candidates who jumped in would probably get in. I'll be honest, I was surprised when Kendrick Meek Jr., the grandson of Carrie Meek and the son of Kendrick Meek, another former congressman, when basically Kendrick Meek Jr. jumped into the race. I think that caught a number of people by surprise.
Well, first of all, this is a democracy, and so I think anybody who has the desire to want to serve, who want to run, they should absolutely do it. No one should deter anybody from running for any office. These seats do not belong to us. These seats belong to the people. So Kendrick Meek Jr. he has that right to do that. The second thing I'll make clear is that that Carrie Meek and the Meek family, they are staples within this community. I will not and I cannot take that away from them because they have contributed so much. But let me be clear that Congress is not the place we go for on-the-job training. There are people right now who are looking for leadership who can go in there on day one to do the job. There are people who are suffering right now who are looking for someone who can go in there on day one to do the job. And so I think as we go through this process and go through this race, people have to understand this is not individuals running for SGA president in high school. This is somebody who's running to be a spokesperson, a representative, and a collaborator for what we know need the needs of the people, not just within this district, but across this country.
Do you believe that there may be some voter confusion? Do you think that he is trading on his name if he doesn't have the experience in order to serve or to run?
I mean, listen, yeah, the Meek name carries weight within this district because of what has been contributed here. Listen, yeah, when I ran for office the first time, people said that I was riding on my father's coattail. And I used to always say, well, it's a good coattail good coattail to ride on. My first election that I ran, I didn't win it, but I learned a lot while I was doing it. And listen, I mean, we all this is a process that everyone should have the opportunity to run. I think Kendrick Meek Jr., he will have to make the case to the people of why he is the best candidate to run, just like I'm going to have to, and just like every other candidate is going to have to.
You know, one of the things that's interesting is we now have two African American candidates who are both gay in this race. I don't know how many openly gay African American members of Congress there have been or even currently serving, but what does that do from a campaign standpoint in terms of both how you and Kendrick Meek have to now try to raise money, often tapping into some of the same donors nationally in terms of the gay community, but also vying for those same votes and trying to make that case to people?
Jim, I'll be honest with you. I don't believe that the people of this district are voting or looking to vote for individual because of who they love. I think that you look at what just happened when I in my last two races and how we won those races. It wasn't because that I was a part of the LGBTQ plus community. It was because of what I've been able to deliver for people. I've never led with that. What I have led with is what the results that I can bring to this community. What I have led with is what we have done for people. And I think Kendrick is going to have to make that he's going to have to make the case also. But what I will say is that yeah, we will fight, and I will continue to fight for each and every person. I was just talking to someone not too long ago, and they asked me about the fight that we've done over these last 14 years in the legislature. And here's my view on it. Yeah, I will fight for anybody fight against anyone who interrupts the human experience for any human being, LGBTQ or not. And as it pertains to myself, I will continue to say that the people elected me for these last few years because of what I can deliver.
Let's talk about some of the economic issues that you referred to earlier. What do you think you can do? What do you think Congress should be doing that they're not currently doing to address some of those concerns, whether it's on everyday cost of living or it's on insurance? What would you advocate for if you were in Congress?
Well, listen, I think the affordability conversation is a large conversation that is happening, but specifically, it is truly the cost of grocery. It is truly the cost of gas that people are putting in their cars. I mean, we're looking right now within this country, the amount of money, unnecessary money that is being spent by this president, and how he is milking this country in the manner that he is, while there are individuals who cannot afford to put gas in their car, who cannot afford to buy groceries for their families. The list continues to go on. Who cannot go to get their prescription drugs, but yet and still we have millions of dollars to give to President Trump's friends, deals that go non-compete. The list continues to go on, and the grifts just keep grifting. Right now, we see the number one issue that's in this country is affordability. Affordability. People are working harder than ever. The housing costs that we're dealing with in Florida and across this country, the insurance costs that we're dealing with in this country. I mean, Congress has to do more than talk about the economy. We have to make the economy begin to work for the everyday people. Part of this, and I'll be frank, one part of this is why I want to be one of my first pieces of legislation that I filed is called the Cliff Act. The Cliff Act, if someone gets a raise, they should not be penalized or lose more in benefits than they gain in income. We should be helping people climb into the middle class, not trapping them in poverty. I mean, that's not a Democrat issue. That's not a Republican issue. That's an issue for Americans. If we are truly working on behalf of the American people, then work on behalf of the American people. Don't work against them.
I want to ask about, we've seen now this memorandum of understanding to try to extend the ceasefire on the war with Iran. It seems to give Iran a lot just to reopen the strait. Did the United States lose this war with Iran?
I think that the president was a bad negotiator on this. I also would make it extremely, extremely clear that America going into wars with a blank check is not how how we should be sitting with American values. There should be accountability, there should be benchmarks, but the president of the United States should not be the one to unilaterally make these decisions about war without consulting Congress. We are here because the president of the United States believed that he is a one man show and he can do this all by himself. Well, all in all, right now, the president is on the center stage and we are the laughing stock of the world.